No one is perfect at Yu-Gi-Oh! No one ever plays flawlessly, and no one always has the card they need. Except for Jesse Cotton.
Jesse, did you draw Ash Blossom in 60? You fucking did! Of course you did, Jesse!
But for the rest of us, we all have some common mistakes we all do, myself included. Let's point out our flaws and try to be aware of them so we can play better in the future. Saying okay too fast in response to your opponent's effects. I know firsthand that when I'm holding an Ash Blossom in hand, I'll forget to say thinking when my opponent does an actionable effect. Just saying okay, letting them use their effect without using my cards to negate it. You need to remember to be aware of all cards you have available to you and not just go along with the effects. Always take a second to think before okaying the effect. Not reading your opponent's cards fully. I know cards today are basically essays, but you should still read them so you know what you're going up against. Going into a duel without knowing what your opponent's cards do is like driving with your eyes shut. You have no idea what's going on and you're gonna die. Wow, that was dark. Next reason, misunderstanding interactions. Let's say you have an Invoke Caliga and a Borreload Savage Dragon on board. Caliga says each player can only activate one effect per turn, so negate whatever they do with Savage and easy game, right? Well, Savage negates activations, not effects, so they never activated an effect. So by misunderstanding this interaction, you've wasted your activation and your opponent still has an activation that they can do to do something else. Overextending. Trust me, I know how good it feels to just spam the board and flex a little when you're about to go for a game and you don't need to, and it is fun until you get in a beard and lose because of it. Never, ever, ever play more than you absolutely need to. Don't set 5 if setting 2 is good enough. Otherwise, you risk getting lightning stormed. Thinking in the short term instead of the long term. Let's say you have Pot of Prosperity, right? There should be no downside to this. It's a free card from the top 6 of your deck. So you activate it, and you get a monster to your hand to help attack for game. Except, uh-oh, Prosperity halves battle damage. Because you thought in the short term of seeing more cards, you didn't think in the long term of what you would do with the new cards. The most important thing, going for game. Forgetting mandatory effects. Something like Magnite Purple returning in the end phase. This isn't an optional effect where if you forget, you don't get a take back. You need to summon Purple back. You don't have a choice. Going hand in hand with that, forgetting optional effects. So Scarm is an optional effect, but you want to remember it because it gives you more card advantage. Forgetting it only makes your plays next turn worse. You're only hurting yourself. Being salty and misplaying because of it. I probably get saltier than anyone I know playing the game, and when I am, I don't think clearly, making more misplays than normal. Try to calm down and clear your head, because if you're salty when you're dueling, you're only going to make more misplays and get saltier, which makes you have more misplays, which makes you get saltier until you flip the table and storm off. Playing too fast and not giving your opponent time to respond. Sometimes there's a basic combo that we try to speed through because we think everyone knows it, and because of that, we go way too fast and advance our game state while our opponent has a response. Now, everything so far has been pretty understandable, but if you do this, then you need to quit the game. There is no saving you. Making a video critiquing other people and calling them trash at the game when you yourself are no better at— wait, no, come on, it was just a joke, I don't—